Hi, thank you all for joining us today. I'm Chris Delaney, Cobb EMC's VP of Marketing and Corporate Communications. We have an exciting webinar planned for you all today, but first, just a few housekeeping items. All of your videos and microphones are turned off by default. You'll also notice that the chat is not enabled since this is a webinar event. However, you will see a Q&A box where you can submit questions to our panelists. The panel will do their best to answer as many questions as we can. Just a glimpse at what we're going to talk about today. I have a few introductory slides, and then we'll talk about reliability and storm preparedness, then our education programs, and then we'll do our Q&A and finish up with the prizes. So just some good news that we want to share with all of you. We are making history. We are the only EMC in the country that can say that we have the #1 lowest rates in Georgia among all utilities, and that's 3 years in a row. We're really proud of being able to provide that service to you. We're also #1 in the nation for restoring outages quickly. Again, really proud that we can provide that great level of service to all of our members. Next slide. Okay. And then we had a few things we wanted to mention, kind of a did you know? Did you know that you can choose your own due date? So you can go to cobbemc.com/choose, and it's available to all current residential members, but not members who are on the Netflix rate. That's the only rate that's not eligible for this. You can change your preferred date one time each year, and it could be the 2nd, the 12th, the 18th, or the 22nd. So something to keep in mind if that makes it easier for you. And if you're not already using Smart Hub, which is our app, you can make payments there with no fees, monitor your daily and hourly usage. You can report outages, receive your e-bills, enroll in auto pay, get notifications. So you can go to cobbemc.com/my-account to get to that part. And then for reliability, we maintain more than 9,000 power lines across the 5 counties that we serve. And our crews are performing regular maintenance to make sure that our grid is running efficiently and reliably for you. And that includes replacing aging poles, maintaining our underground cables, building new substations, reinforcing poles. And so we have all of that activity on cobbemc.com/reliability for you. So you can see what we're doing for you to maintain that high level of reliability. Next slide. And then we also wanted to just remind you that Gas South is our wholly owned subsidiary, and Gas South pays us an annual dividend, which helps us to improve the reliability of our system and keep our rates low for you. And just want to make sure if you are a Gas South customer, or if you're not a Gas South customer yet, you can claim your 2 cents per therm discount if you haven't already. And you can do that through the link there at the bottom, cobbemc.com/Gas South. If you're already a Gas South customer and you're not sure if you're getting that discount or not, you can go ahead and call Gas South and they can confirm whether or not it's been applied to your account, and they can take care of that for you. Easy peasy. So, and with that, next slide, I am going to hand this off to talk about our reliability and storm preparedness to Lee and Tico. So take it away, guys.
Hey, good morning there, or good evening, excuse me. At Cobb EMC, keeping trees and vegetation clear of lines is one of the best ways to prevent outages. Trees are a top cause of power interruptions, especially in storms. Cobb EMC routinely trims and clears right of way on a 4-year maintenance cycle. We coordinate trimming around distribution lines, and we always notify members before work is started via mailers. And we also ask that our crews, knock on homeowners' doors before they actually do anything there, if possible. Um, um, I'm sorry, I forgot where's that there. Another thing is we do not trim service lines without a member request to do so. Oftentimes, you members have ornamental trees, and we do not want to cause any harm to those. So we like to communicate with you guys before we do so. Homeowners can also help by planting smaller trees under the power lines and larger ones further away. If branches are indeed touching the lines near the home, members should contact Cobb EMC. Please do not do it yourself. It is very dangerous. Call us. We'll send somebody out, discuss it with you, and get the matter taken care of. Drones for maintenance. Cobb EMC uses advanced tools like drones and satellite imagery to improve reliability, safety, and efficiency. Um, Drones are used for the following: inspect lines, substations for damaged equipment and vegetation issues. This reduces the need for bucket trucks or climbing. It also helps to identify potential hazards and maintenance needs early. Um, Technology investments for us mean fewer outages, faster restorations, and safer operations for the crews and the community. All right. Restoration is safe, systematic, and prioritized to get the most members back on as quickly as possible. Uh, the ways we detect it is through smart meters, automated equipment, and our outage management system, which alerts Cobb EMC immediately when the power goes out. Uh, Crews are dispatched to locate problems using sensors, reports from members, 911, and field checks by our crews. The priority order, as you may see, is first we like to do what we can to get as many lights on as possible. So we start with the substations, which serve the most members, then our main distribution lines, critical infrastructure like hospital, fire, police, water systems, and schools. Then taps, which are lines to individual homes. Um, Once the damage is repaired, then the lines are tested and power is re-energized gradually for safety. And oftentimes that's due to generation and stuff. You can't just turn a lot of people's power on at one time. Um, Members can also monitor progress on Cobb EMC outage map or by text or email alert. Um, I'm sorry. One more thing. Whenever we do have large scale outage events or any outage event, we do work around the clock, and our automation allows many outages to be isolated without any manual intervention. And that's all I have.
Okay, Lee, thank you for your expertise on how we restore services for Cobb EMC. I'm trying to get my camera on. Sorry for the delay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about storm preparation. And with storm preparation, we actually here at Cobb EMC on our website, cobbemc.com/storm safety, we have on our website, we discuss and are able to walk you through preparing for a severe storm. On this site, you can watch the video on how you can build an emergency kit along with shopping for items in preparation of any type of storm, whether it be minor or severe. If you use the shop now links on the website, it will link you to Amazon and you can purchase items such as rechargeable LED lights, flashlights, some snacks, first aid kits, fire extinguishers, toiletries, batteries, and pet food. Some of the items that you can get delivered before the actual storm arrives. So I'm also going to talk a little bit about keeping food safe and a couple safety tips I'll discuss. They'll be with food before, during, and after the outages. So before, we just want to make sure that you keep your refrigerators at 40 degrees or below. If you need to, purchase dry ice or freeze containers of water or blocks of ice to keep your refrigerator or freezer colder longer during longer periods of time. You can also purchase canned goods, granola bars, dried fruits, and other non-perishable foods in advance. And if you keep an eye out on the weather, let's try not to wait till the last minute because, of course, we know A lot of us are last minute people, and by the time we get to the grocery store, everything has been purchased and bought off the shelf. So now we're stuck in another situation in which you may have to go to other locations and things like that as the storm comes. Also, another note, just because of the fact that I have had this happen to me, is make sure that you have a manual can opener. I've ran into where we had canned goods, and of course, the electric can opener does not work. So just make sure you have a manual can opener. Those are things that you can do before the storm actually comes. Now, if you have a power outage, during the outage, you want to make sure that you keep all refrigerators and freezers cold. A full refrigerator will last probably 48 hours, and keep everything cold for that period of time. If it's half full, your freezer could last about 24 hours. So, you have plenty of time. And the food will be good. Your refrigerator will keep everything at a safe temperature and good for about 4 hours. Move perishable food items to coolers, of ice if the outage is actually lasts longer than 4 hours. Now, if the after the power outage is we've restored the power, make sure that you've kept an eye on the temperature for your freezer and your refrigerator. If it has gone up as far as over 40 degrees for a long period of time, then please do not eat your food that has been listed in the refrigerator. Now, the freezer, of course, it would still be frozen, but just always go by the fact that when in doubt, throw it out. Do not try to taste it. Discard any perishable items like meat, dairy, eggs, or any leftovers that have been sitting in a temperature over 40 degrees for a long period of time. Also check for odors. Smell everything, but at the same time, always remember that spoiled food may look and smell normal. So you always want to be cautious and just pay attention to the temperature and how long your actual food has been in a temperature over 40 degrees. So next, I'm going to talk about generators. Generator safety. For one, you have different types of generators. You have a stationary generator, and those approved generators contain a transfer switch, which can keep your house circuit separate from our co-op's electric circuit, and they should only be installed by professionals. You also have portable generators, which allow you to plug in appliances directly into outlets that are provided by the generator. But you always want to make sure, as a safety and precaution, that you set your generators up to run in well-ventilated areas outside of your home, away from your garages, away from windows, doors, and vents, because of course we know that carbon monoxide is a silent killer. So we always want to make sure that if you do have a portable generator, that you do not have it in access of anywhere where the breeze or the carbon monoxide can enter the home. Another quick reminder is that if you have a generator, start it first before you plug in any appliances. And just as a danger, we know that improperly installing generators can create feedback, which is dangerous to our crews when we're out trying to get the services back on. So we always want to make sure that if you have a generator and it is a stationary, that you actually have it installed by professionals. Along on this website, we have a host of other information about storm safeties and preparations. So another item that I'm going to talk about is just the tools available for you. At our website, Cobb EMC/alerts, you can enroll and receive outages with the power, both mobile and on your desktop. So it will just take you a quick minute if you're not already enrolled, and you will have everything at your hands, at a hand's notice. You can also report power outages online. And if you're using your phone and you're set up, then you can just text out to 898-362. You can also view our current outages and restoration times on our outage map. And lastly, you can always report a street light outage if you have one, or other common outages on our website, also at these tools that are readily available for you. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Mark Justice. He is our Senior Manager of Education and Community Relations.
Thank you, Tico. That was great information. Wanted to give an overview tonight about Cobb EMC's involvement with Partners at Large. We have more than 150 schools in our service district, and we have a lot of different programs. You can go to that first slide. We always strive for educational impact. We recognize that every school has different needs, and we also recognize that you have different grade levels and they have different opportunities that we can give to them at each school. So tonight, I'm going to give you an overview. And right here, this is like all grade levels. So I didn't want to be too broad here, but the teacher mini grants, that is something that we do each year. We do $500 grants for the teachers and the staff at the schools. And that actually just ended on November 7th, where we got the applications. Right now we have over 100 applications, and typically each year that's about $35,000 that Cobb EMC gives directly to the teachers. And we also provide Watson's Electric Avenue. It's a safety presentation, again, very age appropriate for every grade level, and even something that can be done in the community. We have the Literacy Week, which we just wrapped up the end of October. This year we were in more than 45 schools, and we had more than 21,000 students that had an opportunity to hear from a guest speaker. There are a lot of schools that don't have the resources to provide that for their students. So Cobb EMC has been doing that. This was our 15th year. Another thing we do is provide facility tours. And I put in here all grade levels. So there are different tours, obviously, based on the students that come in. But I'd also like to say that we've had some colleges that have come out here and wanted to have a facility tour. We can basically make that tour fit the needs of those individuals that are coming out. We also have conservation energy presentations. Again, that's something that can be crafted for the needs of the audience. We have meter lab presentations, which is essentially a meter that is connected to a base, and we can actually plug in different devices into that so they can see how, and it's an analog meter, so they can see how it spins. They can see how the bills are generated through our meters. And then engineering fairs, we do those where we actually are going in and serving as judges in this context. Go to the next slide. So elementary school. Now, obviously with elementary, we realize that they are just learning about certain things. And one thing that is really important is that we give them an opportunity to do things outside of school, not just in the classroom. So Cobb EMC and Gas South co-sponsor the Science Olympiad and Engineering Fairs for the counties in Cherokee and also Cobb. And then the neighboring counties usually join those two school systems to make sure that their teachers are invited as well and their students can get involved. Then with the meter lab presentations, again, that's something that we go into the elementary schools with. We have Cherokee County STEM essay contest. And in case you don't know what STEM is, that's science, technology, engineering, and math. And we basically allow each school, since every school is different, we allow those schools to come up with a prompt for the students to write an essay, and then we judge those and give awards. And that's something that's also co-sponsored by Gas South. Then the math tournament in Cobb County, that's something that's been going on for more than 5 years. It keeps growing. It gives the students another opportunity to demonstrate their skills in math, and we've been a sponsor of that for several years. The next slide. Again, middle school, we have some overlapping things like the Science Olympiad and Engineering Fairs. That's obviously something that's both levels. But then we have CTAE. In case you don't know what that is, that's Career Tech and Agriculture Education. And we like to support that because it gives students a variety of career pathways, and it prepares students for secondary education. So some of the events that that we support would be Future Fest and then Rising Professionals. And we have crews, our bucket truck crews actually go out there to those sites when those events are taking place, so the students understand those career paths as well. Then we also, in Cherokee County, again, for middle school, we have the STEM essay contest, and then the math tournament is also available to middle school students. And then going to high school, again, we're looking at the opportunities that make sense for this age group. We have internships and job shadowing. This is something that is available. You need to contact myself, or you can contact Tika, who was just speaking, and I'll give you our information at the end. But that is something, we've had more than 150 internships that have been made available to high school students. A lot of these students are required to have internships, so we make sure we provide that to them at will. And then we have the junior and senior youth leadership program, which is something which is on that picture there. You'll see that was our YLP. That's our shortened word for YLP. That was about 3 or 4 years ago. Now, this year, we have 27 students in that program, and we've expanded it to the point that after they're done with their junior year, they can go into their senior year and have a different experience and learn other exciting things that will help them in their career path. Then again, we have CTAE for the high school. And then something that is really limited opportunities would be a power plant tour. We do have opportunities that would come available, and those are obviously something that's really exciting. Not very many people get to go into power plants and take a tour. Okay, next slide. Since 1981, Cobb EMC has awarded more than $1 million in scholarships, something we're very proud of. The Cobb EMC Foundation has 14 scholarships at $5,000 each. I'd like to point out that that deadline is February 21st, so that is something that's upcoming. And one thing that we've added in the last few years is an opportunity to have a meeting just like this, where Tico or myself are there to answer all the questions about that scholarship program, because obviously when you're talking about $5,000, a lot of people are interested in that. So we want to make sure that it's not just something that's on the website, but that you can talk to somebody in person. The George Ford Memorial Fund, that is a scholarship program that is tied to the Youth Leadership Program. It's valued at $3,000. It's a $1,500 scholarship, $1,000 and $500. That is part of the YLP. And with the Youth Leadership Program, our deadline to enter that program this year was July 31st. So that is something that will be on the website soon for the coming year. So we want to make sure that rising juniors are aware of that, so we can make sure that they get the opportunity to participate. Then we do have the line worker scholarship. That is something that the details are coming soon. And last year it was $25,000, up to $25,000 for a line worker schooling. So that will be something that we'll put out there on the website soon. So if you go to our website, there is a contact method, and I basically crafted this based on just exactly what you'd see on the website. You can request Electric Avenue, a hotline demonstration, which is something that's done through our safety department. You can have us come out and talk about STEM. That's a pretty overarching topic, STEM, but we can craft it to the school and the needs of those students. Energy and conservation, and then Cobb EMC and electrical history, because electrical history is very interesting, especially when you talk about how it all got started and how things have progressed to the point we're at today. And then a facility tour, again, you can request those as well. And I wanted to make sure that we are making the families aware of all these opportunities in your HOA. So you have my number right there. You can call me directly or you can email me. We want to get the word out. I was thinking about it earlier. You can only be a senior in high school one time. You can only be in those certain grades. And we want to make sure that when a student is a rising junior, that they catch that information before it's gone and they can't participate. So please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll tell you all the things you might need to know about those different programs. Thank you. Our next HOA meeting is in person, and it's scheduled for Thursday, April 23rd. And that will be on the website. So you can go there to learn more about that. And you've got our number if you need to call us, especially about the school activities, and then we'll send out those slides as well. So thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you learned something, and we will talk to you and hope to see you soon. Thank you.